Alright, it's 5:30 in the morning, we're loading up the car, we're heading to Las Vegas. We're gonna link up with Jordon Diab to make some Wolverine and Deadpool customs. It's gonna be sick. Let's go. Alright dude, thanks for opening up Jordan Enterprises to us, bro. I'm excited to work on this project with you. We're gonna be doing Deadpool and Wolverine. There's no better person for this project than Jordon Diab. What are we thinking for this project, bro?
So first of all, I love that you're here. Thank you for making the drive, and
cool,
I appreciate having you here in my shop, which is also my house. But what I'm thinking for the project is I've been doing a lot of one-piece designs, so shoes made out of one piece of leather. This is the pullover test that I did, and so it's a one-piece Air Jordan 1, and all we have is one single seam back there.
I'm thinking, since it's Deadpool and Wolverine, one shoe being red, one shoe being yellow. We kind of talked about that. What do you think?
I love it. I think that's perfect. And like you said, it'll be a blank canvas. We can add some cool stuff. You're a wizard with the paint. I feel like if we can add in maybe some gradients or doing some type of detailing, that would really kick it off.
It's a good combination between, your handcrafting skills when it comes to making shoes. I'll put a little touch of paint on there. Should come out sick. And plus we have all the materials from older projects. We also have soles from previous projects. So I figured one black sole for the Deadpool project, a blue sole for the Wolverine should be pretty sick.
Yeah, perfect.
For the Deadpool, a red upper, Wolverine, obviously a yellow upper.
Yeah.
What else you thinking?
So I think, whenever I think of Deadpool at least, I think of the black eyes or the eyepieces with the white eyes. So I feel like if we do a double layered swoosh somehow, black with a white kind of swoosh underneath or inside, that would be a really cool way to sort of bring that mask to life.
It's a cool touch, I love it. With Deadpool you have red, white, black, and a touch of brown.
There's a little bit of brown. So maybe we can add like, maybe a brown tongue or something, okay. You know what I mean? That's the only piece that's the only part of the shoe that isn't connected to the main piece. So maybe that's a way we can implement the brown.
What about Wolverine? Wolverine's a little bit more simple. You got yellow, blue, a little bit of white, some black.
Silver, right? We've got the adamantium.
One.
We can always bring that in.
That's a big one. What else? The X-Men logo.
Yeah.
What do you think about adding the stitching to make it look like panels are there, but not quite? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. I mean, the nice thing about a one-piece design is it really gives you full customability to it.
What's the first step?
So I already have a pattern. Like I said, this is the pullover test that I did. I have the pattern right here. And this is our blank slate. And we can cut out the...
Hold up real quick, dude. This is not just anything, bro. Pattern making, you take a lot of pride in that, and I want to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is special right here. This is where all the stitch lines are gonna go. This is the shape of the body. This isn't easy to make. Jordan went ahead and made that over the weekend. So we're basically ready to rock and roll, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just have to cut out our single piece. We have our red here. The yellow is upstairs in my workroom, so we can go and grab that. But that will be the first step, is just marking all of these lines, getting it all laid out, and then we can start stitching and adding all of our embellishments onto it. And then, you can already kind of see how once we get that put together, how it already starts to look like a shoe, even just with this one stitch.
Dude, I'm excited, especially, you know why? Because I'm always working in my studio. Everybody comes to my spot, but now I'm going somewhere else, and I'm gonna touch all your toys.
Yeah, I was gonna
touch all your materials.
Feel free, have at it. We got stuff sprinkled everywhere. My wife knows, she's very gracious about letting me take over most of the house. So it's awesome to have you here, and I'm excited to get this done.
Bro, let's get to it. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. So we have our Deadpool side completely cut out. The next thing that we have to do is just skive along this back piece here, add our reinforcement material so we can make this a little bit sturdier, and then I can get started on doing all of this decorative stitching.
That's cool, man. It looks really clean. I was sitting on the sidelines watching you cut. That was freaking smooth, bro.
Thank you.
Real quick, Jordan said a lot there. For the skiving, we have to remove some of the leather on the back, so when we connect it, it's not bulky. All the lines that you see here on the leather panel are gonna get sewn over. Once it's all done, it's gonna look like actual panels from a Jordan 1.
Okay, so we are upstairs again in my house. And this is where I do all of my skiving. I do it on top of this granite or stone tile. And I use this little shaver to Vick's point, remove any excess leather. That way when they lay on top of each other, it's nice and flush and flat and there's no extra bulk. And we're gonna go up into my spare room where I have all of my leather. And we are gonna grab this yellow calf skin for our Wolverine side. All right, so we have our uppers completely cut out and ready to go, but they are a little floppy right now. So we need to use some of this reinforcement material, and that's gonna give it some stiffness and make it so that way these are nice and sturdy and will hold up.
So we already did one off camera, so you can see it's nice and neat, but that's not the point. The leather's a lot more firm, so when you put it together, it's gonna have a nice shape to it. It's not gonna fall apart. You need some help?
I do need your help. So this is a two-man job, and let's get this going.
This is Jordan's way of getting me to work. Reinforcements on both panels. We did some pretty good teamwork right there.
Yes, we did.
What's next?
So next we just have to punch out these vent holes on the toe boxes before we get the first part of our liner put in.
Okay, let's do it.
So we have our holes punched out of our toe box here. And now the next thing we have to do is attach our liner so we can start sewing this thing up.
Cool, so we got black and blue.
Yeah.
Black's obviously for the Deadpool. It matches the sole nicely. What about your blue?
And we got this royal blue that matches the outsole perfectly for this Wolverine pair.
So what's this process look like?
So really it's pretty simple. We're just gonna spray this down the backside of it with some spray glue. And then we're gonna lay it on top of our liner here. That way it sticks, it doesn't shift. And then we can go in and hit all of the decorative stitching that we need to before we close them up and eventually get the shoe finished.
So you basically kill two birds with one stone. You get the
Absolutely.
stitching on there with the liner as well, right?
Yep, and that'll lock it in, but we did cheat a little bit and we got this toe box stitched on. That way when we go to last, we can add our toe reinforcement still and the liner won't be in the way.
All right, let's go get some spray glue.
So our next step is gonna be stitching on all of our decorative stitching to really give it that Air Jordan 1 look. We're gonna be using my post-fed machine. This is my Adler 888. This is my workhorse. I do 95% of all of my work on this machine. I absolutely love this machine. I can't say enough good things about it. So let's get going.
All right, Jordan did a great job with the stitching. Now it's my turn to paint. I got some dark red paint inside the airbrush. We're gonna lay it down. What I wanna do is have the gradient go from the sole and work its way up. Not too crazy though, I want it to be nice and subtle. The reason why I'm doing this is because if you look at the Deadpool costume, there's different shades of red. Same thing with the Wolverine. We wanna create that look. All right, we got the Deadpool down. The gradient looks sick. Let's do the same thing with the Wolverine one. All right, gradient is down. These look fantastic. I just love how they resemble the suits now. But I'm beat. It's time to call it a day. All right, bro, that was a solid good day one.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
man.
Appreciate all your hard work. Thanks for coming by.
Appreciate you, man.
I'm stoked on how they're coming out, man.
Day two, bro. I'll see you tomorrow.
Get some rest. Take care.
All right, man, that was great. We did a lot of work. We designed a shoe, we cut leather, we sewed, we painted. I'm beat. Let's go get some food. All right, guys, it's day two. We got the paint done last night. What do you think?
Dude, I think it really, really sells that look that we were going for. You did an amazing job. Super consistent gradient. I'm so excited to see how these come out.
Dude, it's coming together nicely between the stitching, the color of the leather, the gradient. What's next?
So next we have our double layered swooshes. We're gonna do a black and white swoosh on the Deadpool pair, and we are going to do a blue and silver swoosh on the Wolverine pair.
Dude, that's gonna be so sick. So what do we think for the swooshes as far as the shape goes? Because there's a lot of different shapes you can do.
I want to keep that OG Air Jordan 1 Low swoosh, that big swoosh, the one that's on the medial side of the Travis that everybody loves. But I want it to be a little bit altered. Okay. So we kind of did an overlaid double swoosh sort of look. I think it really is gonna sell that eye piece of the Deadpool mask.
Right.
And to make sure that they're absolutely perfect, we can load that up into my Cricut machine and have it cut out those swooshes, like I said, so that way the shape is just perfect.
Sounds good. Then we still have to do some embroidering on the tongues, and that'll be basically it, dude.
It's gonna pop like crazy.
What are you doing, bro? Set up the Cricut. Set up the Cricut.
Dude, I forgot it. I got all the leather though.
Come on, Jordan. I gotta take matters into my own hands. We made it. I don't know where the Cricut machine is, Jordan. I don't know where it is, Jordan. I'm looking for it. I'm looking. So this is what every customizer does in my studio. They touch my stuff, my shoes, my everything. So this is what I'm gonna do to Jordan. Oh, hey, Max. Wanna help me touch Jordan's stuff?
Oh yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, found it. Thanks, Jordan.
Mr. Maxwell.
Max.
We have our blue leather, which is gonna be the bottom part of the swoosh for our Wolverine side. We're gonna match it up right here with our map on the Cricut. Just gonna go ahead and pop this on. Our silver is gonna start at the front. All right, so because I think I'm gonna have a hard time actually stitching this really sharp tail, I feel like instead of having an overlay, we can just have a cutout and then we can put the silver underneath it.
That makes sense.
And do an underlay. But with that, I feel like this is not quite enough edge on the blue.
So widen it a little bit.
Yeah, it's not quite enough to be able to comfortably be able to sew something. So I feel like doing the blue a little bit wider and kind of taking out some of that silver and just giving us a little bit more room to the edge will be easier and it'll give us a better end result.
Yeah, dude, whatever works for you. I like that look though.
Yeah.
Doesn't look bad.
The problem is I just don't want to lose too much of that swoosh look, you know what I mean? I think it's so important, but we can make this a little sharper. Initially, we were gonna do an overlay on top of our swoosh that looked something like this, but this tail here was proving to be a bit of a problem when it came down to sewing. So what we decided to do was switch it and put the silver underneath our blue, and we also made it a little bit smaller. So now this is our updated swoosh that we have right here. Now that we have our medial side done, the only thing left to do is get our lateral piece done, and then we're gonna move over to the Deadpool pair.
The Deadpool one's gonna look crazy.
Yeah, that's really gonna bring that mask look for sure.
All right, man, let's get to it.
Awesome. So we have both of our swooshes cut out with the underlays applied. The Deadpool pair is nice and firm, so I don't think this needs any reinforcement material, but the temper on this leather is quite soft. So what I'm gonna do is add some reinforcement material so it's a little bit stiffer and it allows me to apply it and sew it nice and evenly. All right, the swooshes look great. They're all laid down. Let's head upstairs and start stitching them on. We have our swooshes all sewn on. They look beautiful. And now the next thing we have to do is close up our upper. So I'm gonna add a piece of double-sided tape right along this edge. We're gonna put these two edges together and then give it a stitch along this line. And then our upper will be completely closed, and all we'll have to do is add our liners and our internal components and our tongues, and we'll be all ready to last. So we have our uppers completely closed. We trimmed out this middle portion of our liner, and now all we have to do is add our internal components like these heel counters here. So these are the last components that we need for our uppers. We have our liners, our heel counters, and our foams. The first thing that we're gonna do is heat up our heel counters, then we're gonna sew in our liners here, and then we can install our foams, flip the liner over, sew everything in, and they'll be good to go.
Bro, these are insane.
Dude, I keep saying it, the gradient, I think, really made the shoe.
I think we're done for tonight.
I think that's a good place to end off. We got the liner put in and everything stitched. Now all that we have left to do is punch out our lace holes, attach our tongues, and get the shoe lasted and ready for soles.
Dude, let's get some sleep. All right, guys, it's day 3. What's next, bro?
So all that we have left to do is to punch out these holes here for the laces, and then we're gonna make our tongues. So we have our silver for our Wolverine pair, and then you have the brown right there for the Deadpool pair.
The brown's gonna be a nice touch. We gotta punch the holes first, cut out the leather, get the binding ready for the tongues, and get the liner ready as well.
For our Deadpool tongue tags, I think we're gonna do white Nike Air with a red swoosh, and then on the silver for the Wolverine pair, we are going to do yellow Nike Air with a red swoosh. I love them. I love the red swooshes are a really nice touch, and they'll make everything look super cohesive. And we just finished this last final stitch here on this. So these uppers are completely done. Our Deadpool pair is complete. We have to move on to lasting, but first we have one more final stitch to do on our Wolverine pair. We're gonna do it together.
All right, so I'm pretty sure in this video I've said sick at least 10,000 times, but I'm gonna say it one more time, man. These look freaking sick. The tongues really tie it together, bro. But as of right now, they're looking pretty flimsy.
Yeah.
What's next?
So the last thing that we have to do is called the lasting process. And the way that works is we have our lasting boards that we cut out of this material here, and it matches perfectly with the bottom of the last. Then we're gonna take our uppers, put them over the last, and use nails to nail in the bottom part of this upper all around this lasting board here, and that's gonna give it that shoe shape. Once we do that, they'll be ready for soles.
All right, want me to cut this out?
Please do.
Can you not look at me? I get nervous. I can feel you looking at me.
So when we start lasting, we really want to make sure that our alignment is right. This has an open seam right here, so it makes it kind of easy for us. It gives us a center line that we can use to match up with the back of the last. If you remember, we installed that heel counter, and it's thermo-moldable. So basically, when we hit it with heat, it's going to soften up and it's going to form to this last, and then when it cools down, it will get hard in that same shape. So we have our rear portion of the shoe completely lasted. You can see we have that nice sloped shape, very smooth around the edges like that. And then what's left is we're gonna glue all inside of here so that way we can get this tacked down. And we're also just gonna glue this blue liner piece. Now that we have our rear part of the shoe glued down, we also have our liner glued down. We are going to flip up this toe part of the liner, just like this. That way we can install our toe puff. Now our toe puff works the exact same way as our heel cups, where when they're heated up, they become soft and pliable, and then when they cool back down, they will harden. So we are gonna heat this up, stretch it over this front part of the toe, and then we can fold this back over, finish lasting the toe, and they're done.
Bro, you creased the toe box.
Dude, no I don't.
Just kidding, dude.
Take it back. Now that we have our toe puff installed onto the front of our toe, we can flip the upper back over. And now we're gonna last this portion just like we last this portion, and then we're gonna be all done. During the lasting process, these little pleats form. You can see them right here. I've removed most of them. We still have one left. We're also going to fill this little area here with some leather, again, to make it really flat and really comfortable. And here's a quick little look at how they're going to look as a finished product.
I'm telling you guys, in person, these look crazy. We still gotta get the sole onto the upper. We gotta make sure it's lined up properly all around, front, back, and sides. I'm gonna use a pen once it's all lined up nicely. I'm gonna draw the outline all around. After that, I'm gonna go outside, Dremel the area on the bottom, get it roughened up so we can get it ready for the glue job.
And while Vic is doing that, I'm gonna last our Deadpool side.
I don't know if you guys know this, but this step is extremely sketchy. We've been at it for 3 days. This is a lot of work. One little slip up will ruin the whole thing. So I got about 1 inch, 2 inches to go. Hold my breath. For the soles, yesterday I removed the glue using the Dremel. Now there's one final step. I'm gonna use some acetone and cotton balls to give it one final wipe down. After that, we'll move on to the glue. I miss my apron, I miss my mask, I miss my compressor, but it's all good, it's well worth it. These customs are coming out
Damn,
dope.
dude, tell me how you really feel.
Jordan, let's finish up the Deadpool custom, man. I'm gonna be laying down a nice thin even coat all around the upper. Same thing with the sole, not too thick. I want it to be nice and even all around. The key is to not go above the line. Uppers are good to go. Now we're on to the sole. Same exact thing. I'll lay down some glue, spread it all around, let it cure, then we'll stick everything together. All right, man, we're basically almost done. The last couple hours, we spent a lot of work kind of going back and forth on the Deadpools and the Wolverines. I did all the prep work. In between time, you were doing the lasting on the Deadpools. We got the soles glued on the Wolverines as well. We'll show you guys how those look in just a bit. Now we still gotta do the Deadpool, but I'm gonna let you handle that because I want this to come out perfect. I feel like at this point, I might mess it up.
I don't think you would, but I'm happy to do it. We're gonna do a little trick with some parchment paper when we're bonding the soles. I like to let the glue cure overnight so that way it's not so tacky, but we're on a little bit of a time crunch and this is a great way to do it if you don't have time to wait for them overnight.
That's right. So what's the trick with this parchment paper? I mean, what does it do?
The parchment paper does not stick to the sole or the upper, so we put it in between the two while we're trying to do the bond. And we slowly pull it, that way we can line everything up and stick just the exposed parts, and it makes it way easier, so much less stress, and it's a really fun trick. All right, so our soles are stuck on, but they're not exactly done yet. The glue that we used uses heat to activate, so we need to throw it in the oven real quick, 250 degrees for 2.5 minutes, and that's gonna reactivate that glue, make it super sticky, and then we can go and finish our bond.
Time to make the chimichangas.
Now that we have our last removed from the shoes, the only thing left to do is to stitch the soles on, so I'm gonna do that now.
Dude, I'm so impressed. 2 days ago, we started off with the mock-up that we designed on the spot, had all the materials. A couple days later, a ton of hours, we have the physical shoe in our hands. I'm so impressed with how it looks. It straight up gives off Deadpool and Wolverine vibes.
Thank you so much, Vic. I'm happy that you're happy. I love them too. I think, like I said, I keep saying it, but that gradient really sold the look. But what's next and what's last is my favorite part of shoemaking, putting laces in.
Let's lace it up. Red lace for the Deadpool, yellow lace for the Wolverine. It's a no-brainer.
They came out way better than I even expected them to. I think, it's hard when you start with a mock-up, it's digital, you don't really know what that's gonna translate to in real life. But I'm super, super happy with how they came out.
The cool thing about these is they straight up scream Deadpool and Wolverine, and there's not a single X-Men logo, not a single Deadpool logo or Wolverine. There's no slash marks, there's no blades or knives or gunshots or any stuff like that that kind of scream Deadpool and Wolverine. If you look at these shoes without any of that stuff, you know what they are.
That's very true, yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself.
But now that the shoes are laced up with some soles attached to them, what's some other details that you like about the shoes?
I just love the simplicity of the design. Again, I talked about how I've been experimenting a lot with single piece design. So the base of the upper is all one single piece of leather. Of course, the swooshes are additional pieces, but the yellow, and in your case, the red, is all made from one single piece of premium calfskin.
100%, I don't mean to cut you off, but it also gives off that impression like there is panels on the shoe. When you look at it from a distance, it just looks like there's panels, but when you look at it up close, it's just one piece of leather. It's just amazing.
Exactly, yeah. I think it really gives that traditional Air Jordan 1 feel. People that love that design, myself included, I think will really appreciate this, but it's kind of an updated take on it. The premium materials, the silver tongue. I love how we did the matching red swooshes on the Nike Air tongue tags.
We didn't plan that.
all of these things really come together and make for a beautiful design.
And not just the silver on that tongue, dude. The brown over here is nice and subtle. It was a nice way to tie that in with the Deadpool colorway. The embroidery on the tongue tags is super clean. It just looks like something that Nike produced themselves. Again, this custom is absolutely perfect, bro. I know we're pretty biased because we're the ones that made them, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody else out there can create what we just did today.
I agree. Thank you guys for coming over and hanging out with me at my house. This is normally where I get all of my work done, so it's really nice. But it is 9:30. You don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here.
I don't get to thank you for the hospitality and stuff. Nah, real quick, dude, I do want to thank you. You opened up the house to me, Ace, Miguel. It's been awesome, dude. We've been hanging out here for 3 days, did an awesome custom, and not just that, dude, got to hang out with my boy.
Yes, absolutely. What's better?
Thanks for tuning into this video, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a little bit different from the regular Monday videos, so let us know down below if you like it. Also, let us know what you guys think about these customs, if you guys would have done anything differently. This is Vick Almighty.
And Jordon Diab.
We'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.